Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! That would be me. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Swim, S-W-Y-M. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. You know, I was talking to a friend this week, and I remember talking about how saying what you mean don't mean jack sugar, okay? Because it doesn't really matter. I'm finding out. I don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but some way, somehow, the tree that I'm barking up is going to produce some fruit in some way, form, or fashion. I don't know why I got on this kick. You know, from a long time ago, I started, really wanting to be accountable. And I've discovered that that might be my love language. I don't get it. And I don't believe things happen by accident or coincidence. You know, the places we find ourselves based on the paths we take and how we're groomed along the way. You know, there's this saying, from my church, we used to say, God wouldn't bring you to it if he's not going to take you through it. Well, I'm going to tell you, I've got to a lot of things that were rough. My brother used to say, tough as snuff and twice as rough. Well, that's what's, been happening, and we all go through it. Think about your life. Think about what you went through and how you made it through it. The time we're going through struggles and trials, we don't know how we're going to get through it. But somehow, like the little engine that could, I think I can. I know I can't. Somehow, you hear preachers say it all the time. If you woke up, God ain't through with you yet. And that meme from, what's the guy's name who played Candyland? He says, God may not be through with you, but I am. Anyway, I'm just making, fun, laughing to keep from crying. But let's see if I can get back on focus. You go through stuff and it's painful. And then you say, oh man, I don't want to go through it. I think about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. He said, Lord, if there be any way, remove this cup from me. And then after he thought about it, he was like, well, if you remove this cup, I won't get what I'm supposed to go. And then he finally said, not my will, but your will be done. Well, I haven't been able to say that. I've been able to say, Lord, remove this cup and let me get some of these folks, but in all seriousness, I've gone through some rough times. I remember even being a single father, how I used to think, why am I out here with this little boy? And what does this mean? What is this? Why is this happening? And my son would be so happy. Dad, what we going to do today? And this and that. And I would be like, well, I know I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to cry in a corner, to figure out how we're going to get the next this, that, or the other. And some way, somehow, all those years of, raising my son and getting through. Thank God I had quite a bit of help along the way. I'm grateful for that. But I'm just reflecting on times when it was just rough. And, it just was. And the topic, I don't have a guest tonight. It's just going to be you and me. And I'm looking at the time. I'm going to try to be out of here in a short period of time. I have a mental thing. I'm thinking inside of a half hour, I'm going to be out of here long before that. But I created a title. I like to do Wait and See Wednesdays. It's when I don't have a guest and I haven't really put anything together, but I just want to have therapy with, myself and, some kind of audience. I was talking about the battle and the war. And then I was talking about how you may have won or lost the first game of the season. And I think I pitched it as you lost the first game, but the season is just getting started. So if you look at the battle, sometimes when you're in war, you have casualties. You have to keep fighting though. And you might win a battle today. You might lose a battle tomorrow or yesterday. But if you keep fighting and you keep, pressing, you win the war. And I guess that's what I'm going to talk about. The battles, that we face for the effort of winning the war. I remember, when the Heat won that championship that first time a few years ago, they had a few games where they lost. Those were battles. But I remember when Shaq came and we had the big three, and, I'm a Heat fan, and I remember getting into it seriously, that year we won that first time. And you don't think you're going to win sometimes when you're down. But I watched the Heat. I watched them persist. And they did their thing, man. So I guess that's what I want to talk about for just a little while. And I was also talking a few minutes ago about saying what you mean. How do I get into that? I remember thinking of, I'm going to use this as a live stream. What would I leave to the world if I had to leave some advice? And I had something that I actually said, but I didn't write it down. And now I can't remember it. So I've got to think about it. And even while I'm on the spot live right now, I'm thinking about, the route I took some time ago, not too long ago, whenever I decided I would start my life of being accountable. Saying what I mean, meaning what I say. A part of me really thought that was going to make a difference. And I can hear my dear mother saying, son, being good, people don't want people who are good. They want people who are going to do what they want them to do. So many of the things my mother told me. And I'm finding out the hard way. I'm thinking, even as an old man now, that being reliable, being accountable, being dependable, saying what you mean and meaning what you say means something. But it doesn't always, most of the times, against particularly, I don't want to talk about people. I'll talk about forces, because I believe we don't fight against flesh and blood, because there are some people that are good people that do some funky stuff. So I'm going to talk about spirits of emotional. If someone is really emotional about something, it doesn't matter how straight you shoot. It doesn't matter how clear you speak. It doesn't matter how much information, evidence, or proof you lay down. Even you can document a conversation, record it, and somebody will say something, and they will find a way to allow their emotions to deny it, justify it, deter, deflect, anything other than, you know what? That's right. What you're saying is right. What I'm saying is inaccurate. I'm going to learn from this moment. I'm going to turn from my wicked ways so that my heart can be healed. Instead, Marasaka, I'm going to be like Michael Blackson. So, a person, hope I don't get in trouble for that, will not admit anything other than I'm squeaky clean. And I'm going to try to stop chasing that rabbit and get back to, the battle and the war and talk a little bit more about how to move on and how to get where you're trying to go. I'm going to talk about myself for a quick moment. I got a situation where I've got to stay focused on the journey and the path and not so much worry about what's behind me or even what's in front of me. But every moment that I have right now, I have to plan, strategize, focus, and remain consistent. I will say that at the first of the year, I was like 42 pounds heavier than I am now. And I started my 75 hard, which means like at the end of November, I got to start the end part of the year. So I'm going to go into the new year banging because I'm going to finish my last part of that. But I remember being, 42 pounds heavier than I am now. And by March 17th, I had gotten down those 38 to 42 pounds. And I've been maintaining that. Fitness and weight loss has been a big thing, and it still is. And yeah, I still might have a cookie here and there, and I might eat a little something over here and over there. But I've been consistent with starting my day with, getting my workouts in, and I'm proud of that. But as I was talking about the battle and the war, with the journey that I'm on psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, and even financially, I've got to stay the course and not become discouraged. And I guess I'll encourage you to do the same thing. Christine says hello, but I said hello already. I don't want to get off track. But anyway, I guess I'll just go ahead and go. I've got a lot on my mind. I'm going to go ahead and say this. It's on my mind. I see preachers when they're preaching to say, okay, Lord, I'll do it. I'm 300 and some pounds. And I'd like to think that I'm a big, strong, burly man. And I am. I'm a manly man. I heard someone say something, on a clip, and they were talking about alpha men and, how we want to be. And before I heard this, I was thinking, yeah, I'm more of an alpha as opposed to, what do you call it? Beta, or because I think I am responsible and I'm in control and I take responsibility for what I'm held accountable for. I may not be responsible for your stuff, but I really do like to be in control of what I'm responsible for. So I'm saying that to say what I heard in some clip. And I think, if I can remember, they were saying, no. And there was a lady talking about her husband. She said her husband said something about, no, I'm not an alpha man. I'm a masculine man. And I don't know why that touched me and caused the hairs on my arm to stand up. I may not be as alpha as I think I want to be in my head and as society would want me to say, but I am masculine. I wrote something, and I said, I'm proud to be a man. I didn't know it would lead me to this very point. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it in the description where I talked about, maybe I can find it real quick. I wonder if I can find it. Yeah, well, it's talking about, proud of being a man. So maybe I'm alpha. I don't know. I won't claim that for myself, but it does feel good and sound good to not say I'm a beta or I'm weak in any kind of way. But one thing I can say, I know I am a masculine, manly man. I am. I really am. And that's just where I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to go ahead and go. I think I'm almost out of, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I got a war going on. I've got a few battles, and I just got to remain focused. I've been talking about, my book, and I'm really close to that. And I've decided this about my book. I'm going to add some extra stuff to it. And I think the content of the book is going to be very interesting for a lot of reasons. And I'm excited about, exposing it when it's time. Part of me wants to make a big deal out of it. And then part of me just wants to just be self-fulfilling. Just like my musical CDs, I didn't try to become a world-renowned sax player. I just really wanted something to document that says, okay, I at least knew which end of the horn to play into and how to put it together and hold it. And I think I did that. And as it relates to being an author, I don't want to be an author, world renowned or anything, but I do want to document my experiences so that maybe if I don't leave my children's children a whole lot of financial inheritance, they will have a really good idea of who their grandfather was through, what he was called to do in terms of music and even writing or even speaking. So publishing a book, about my life experiences is getting a little more exciting as I get down to the end of releasing it. I don't think I'm going to make a big announcement unless the second part of what I'm going to do starts to overpower that. And when I say overpowered, I don't mean like as in overpower, but I think subtitles and additions to the main thing sometimes has a way of creating a buzz in some kind of way. So I've got some things going, and I'm going to petition for all of my praying friends out there. You don't have to be religious, and you might even be wanting to sip on your wine right now while I petition your prayers of consistency and focus and perseverance, with everything I've got going on right now. I'm pretty much of a loner. I do a lot of things on my own and by myself. Thank God I have a few close friends. Oh God, I'm gonna start crying now. I do have a couple of people that I believe care about me and, help me in church. They used to say, people help keep the pastor held up. I'm not a pastor, anything like that. But as friend, I do have a couple of people that I believe care about me. That shows it. In spite of how I may feel sometimes, there are a couple people that do some things to let me or to remind me, that God is good, and regardless of how I feel or how things may look, little small things make a big difference. That poem Footprints, when you say, God, where were you? And then he said, you see where there were one set of prints? That's when I was carrying you. And there's little small things that happen throughout the day and throughout the week that help remind me that regardless of how I feel, that the steps of a good man are being ordered by the Lord. I think I'm a good man, and I think my steps are being ordered. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank y'all for being here with me. This is therapy for me. Don't have a lot of friends. I do have family, but sometimes my family is sometimey, and I'm probably sometimey too. And although I talk to my family, I don't talk to them a lot or all the time. But I have become, a loner, and I do a lot of things on my own these days anyway. Maybe I'll have a grand reunion with some of my family and friends, and it'll be all come to Jesus moment, and it'll happen. I don't know. But as I was talking, I'm petitioning prayers for, just consistency and just psychological, mental, and emotional strength. And if you feel like throwing that financial in there, you can do that too. But I'm going to go on that note. Wherever you are in life, you have small little battles that you have to face and win every day, starting with the person you see when you look in the mirror. Win the battle with that in the morning, and the rest of the day, I guess, will take care of itself. But I want to encourage you that if you're going through a situation, I'll call it a war, stand strong with the small little battles and the victories, and don't get happy just because you have a victory or you have a defeat. Keep going, because the war is, I guess, determined right upon your last breath. We can see quite a few victories and a few defeats, but the idea is to stay encouraged. Stay on the battlefield. If you have plans, continue your plans. Even if you don't feel good about what you're doing, sometimes just try to stay focused. The battle and the war are two different things. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Stay on the battlefield, soldier. All right? All right. Nobody's with me. I've got 4 people here, 8 total so far. And I don't know who the people are that watch me in secret. But I want to say this. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. All right. Till the next time, find somebody you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it. Show it and mean it. And stay tuned. Keep me in your prayers. I'm looking forward to, whatever is on tap and whatever is going to happen. I'm going to start doing something special at the end, even if it's nothing but a song. I was playing some of my videos at the end, and I guess I don't have but so many, and I had to stop doing that. But I need to add a little more spice to my live streams. Maybe just for me, maybe not for you. But anyway, thank you for watching. Till the next time, take good care of yourself. Have a good night, and I love you. All right? Bye.
SWYM. Swim. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
And we sure do. This live stream is intended for therapy via information, inspiration, education, and sometimes frustration. Even the best communication can be taken out of context.
Sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching.
You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
For example,
take me sitting right here tonight.
I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. So you got to keep on searching.
Keep on searching.
Keep it on the cool side.
Keep it on the cool side.
Keep on looking around.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good night, everybody. I love you.